evening, Jakub. It's a great pleasure and honor to have you, my friend, on this interview. It has been a long time that we didn't meet in person. As you mentioned yesterday, it's not at the Dead Sea, it's not in Prague, it's via Zoom. Unfortunately, and fortunately that I was able to see you today and to discuss with you various topics related to tourism and your role in promoting tourism and what you do, etc. So it's a pleasure indeed to have you, Jakub, with us. For those who don't know Jakub Kynčl is a photojournalist and an editor of a magazine or a site, a website related to, a section of it is related to travel and tourism, where he conveys his messages through photography. And this is something really nice that captures the eyes of the audience, seeing beautiful places through your lens. So thank you very much, Jakub, for giving me this opportunity and having a lot of your time. Hopefully we will not take much of it. So welcome once again.
Thanks a million for having me, Adil. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The first thing that I would like to talk about is, why did you start this and how did you start this? How did you start this? Is it a hobby? Is it a professional? When did it start and how did you go through it?
Like, to be honest, I always knew I wanted to do that. Like, since I was a kid, I was like trying to do school magazines. Like since I was 10, I was starting to write articles and all the stuff, like playing to be a journalist. And when I became 21, I got an opportunity to get into the most visited news website in our country. So yeah, I took the chance and I'm there already for more than 15 years. So time flies fast.
Wow. In the same journal you have been for the past 15 years?
In the same publishing company, yeah.
Wow, wow. And why did you look into, or how did you start looking into tourism and destinations? Yeah.
It was quite a natural way, to be honest, because I was traveling a lot by myself, like a hobby. And that's what we are talking like 10, 11 years ago. And then actually our travel editor got kicked out because like not a good stuff like for the readers. It was not good enough. It was like a little bit tiring. And yeah, my boss got fed off and he decided to change the person. And actually he asked me if I would like to take this position. And for me, it was like a dream come true. And I was doing that for 6 or 7 years, just the travel editor position. And then I went a little bit up on the rank, but I'm still like supervising all the travel content on our website. And yeah, I can't really imagine to be out of the tourism completely.
Okay, so you do editing as well. You write stories about destinations.
That's right. Yeah.
In addition to photography.
That's correct. Yeah.
If I may ask, just to compare who traveled more, how many countries did you travel to?
74.
Oh my God, it's much more than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, 2 years ago, it was quite easy to visit like 10 countries a year. There was no issue at all. Like 10 countries was like the regular year.
Wow.
And now it's, yeah, you know how it's the situation now. So.
Yes, but I think that recently you did travel.
My last travel was in July to Malta, and that was the last foreign travel for me.
And how did you find this precise experience?
I mean, to be honest, it was my first trip after the first half a year with COVID. And I mean, even if I would travel anywhere, I would be delighted because it was much more about the experience of sitting on the plane again, checking into the hotel, like all the feelings you loved back again. So, I mean, Malta was beautiful, but I can imagine that even if I traveled to Moldova or anywhere, I would love it as well.
Yeah. So did you feel the dramatic change in procedures? In traveling, whether it's the airport or transfers or hotels, or was it normal?
Well, airport was pretty much empty in Prague, which was like major difference. You don't know the airport like that because you are used to crowds, and that was the big difference. And in the Malta, in Valletta, and in the whole island as well. I mean, usually the streets are packed.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, for me with a camera, it's great to have like everything empty, and like it's awesome, because otherwise I'll be waiting 2 hours to get the right photo, like without people. And now I took it in 2 minutes and it could go on. This is nice, but like the feeling of the place is always different without people.
Yeah. How's the situation in the Czech Republic nowadays? Hopefully it's becoming better.
It is a bit better. We were, as our prime minister like to say, we were #1 in COVID. Like first time it was in a good way because we had the lowest numbers, but then we got like to the #1, like on the total opposite way.
Oh.
So then like many restrictions got to the place, curfew and stuff. Now we are pretty much closed. We can't travel around the country. But yeah, they say that the next week everything should start to reopen a bit. So let's see how the situation will be afterwards.
So restaurants are closed and businesses are closed?
Just takeouts, yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay. And the same thing applies to neighboring countries like Slovakia or...
Actually, we started these restrictions a little bit sooner than them. So the situation now in Germany is getting worse, and in Austria as well, and we are getting a little bit better. But you know, it's always like that. When you close a little bit earlier, you're like better sooner. So it's just like it's working like that. It's like a scale.
Yeah. Okay. Going back to what you do, what do you exactly look for when you are doing your photography, Jakub? What are you looking into, for instance, to reflect the culture and heritage, or are you looking into reflecting experiences, or are you looking into exchanging cultures, for instance? What exactly do you try to reflect through your photography?
For my articles, I need to get everything you just mentioned. So I get some idea about the history of the place, about the people as well. And that's like everything what I put together afterwards in the article. But for the photography, in last 3 or 4 years, I a little bit changed my attitude, because then it's a little bit better to get one perfect shot which just catches your eye, and then you decide to read more about the destination. Because nowadays there is so many stuff around you on the internet. You're just scrolling, and it's too fast. So what you need is to stop the eye of the person, of the reader, and got him interested at least for a few seconds. That is your chance. And yeah, then actually you have to just like take the perfect shot of the spot, which you know already, but like in the totally different way.
So eventually, when you do such editorials, or you do these photographies, in addition to the editorial, are you looking into promoting that destination, or is it just creating awareness, or trying to direct the people to a certain place? What's the main objective of that?
I love to say that I'm trying to push people out of their sofas to travel themselves and to experience like all the flavors of the world. And the easiest way to do that is to stay and go on your feet and see it for yourself. And Czech people are quite well known for traveling to the same destination again and again. It's either Croatia, it's either Egypt, Tunisia. They're quite repetitive. And what I try to do is to show them like new places, and by taking the photos and by writing the stories, that's for me is the most natural way of promotion of the destination, and that's what a journalist like do naturally. That's it. Yeah.
I totally agree, because connecting a photo with a story creates the let's say the need for a traveler to go and to discover that particular place. If I can say, you've mentioned 70 plus countries that you have visited already. Which country did really inspire you? which really caught your eye, or you felt that it has a lot to offer in general?
If I had to pick one country, then I would go for Japan. I didn't expect a lot, to be honest, because I was like, before the trip to Japan, I was in South Korea, and I was just like, it was like the regular trip for me, nothing too exciting, and I was expecting Japan to be quite similar. And what I experienced there was quite fascinating, and I can't wait to get back there.
What made it different?
I would say people, like the friendliness and the helpfulness of people was something I've never experienced. And it was just like total strangers were trying to help you all the time. And quite everything was working properly, which is something we're not used to in Czech Republic, to be honest.
Wow.
So yeah, Japan, I would say.
And I think that the beauty of the nature over there is something else.
Yeah. When you get out of the cities, it's just fascinating too. Around the Fuji Mountain, all those 5 lakes, it's incredible there. Yeah,
unbelievable. I know that you have been to Jordan, but in the Middle East, which countries did you visit?
I visited United Arab Emirates, Oman. What else?
Egypt?
Yeah, Egypt for sure. Egypt. I actually been to Egypt 16 times.
16?
16, yeah.
All for work or for vacation?
I would say half and half.
Okay.
When I was younger, it was my favorite destination because I'm a Czech guy. So yeah, one of the favorite destinations.
Okay.
And then it was because of the work. I actually managed to get a permit from the Egyptian government to take the images inside the tombs in the Valley of the Kings.
Wow.
Which was fascinating to get this elusive permission for 3 days.
Yes, and then just a couple of days ago, they were working on this new museum, and they had this convoy of kings, which was really unbelievable. I think that definitely Egypt has a very rich history, deeply rooted, and it's one of the countries that I don't think that there's any other country quite equivalent to what they have in general. So,
I absolutely agree. It's just unfortunate that 80% of people just stay in all-inclusive resorts and don't even go to the trip outside.
Exactly. And then this actually takes me to just to analyze the behavior of the tourists, because especially those going to Hurghada and to Sharm el-Sheikh and Marsa Alam and all of these places, they are quite far from the main attractions, let's say, which are in Aswan or in Luxor or in Cairo even, where they miss a lot. So they stay, in the all-inclusive resorts just to have some fun, beach and sun, and they're missing a lot. But again, I mean, people have their preferences. We respect that. But I think that if they have the opportunity to go and to see what they're missing, they will be really astonished. And this takes me to my country, to Jordan, where I think that we are a little bit different when it comes to the proximity of the places. For instance, our main jewel in the crown, as they say, is Petra. And Petra is only, for instance, I think an hour and a half from Aqaba, where you can really enjoy the beach, sun and fun, very close to Wadi Rum, so where you have some adventure experiences. So the proximity in Jordan is quite different. So you can combine all of these 3 things in one. So how many times have you been to Jordan, by the way?
Just 2 times now.
Okay. And how do you see Jordan?
I mean, for me,
Listen, honestly, not because you're talking to me now and I'm a Jordanian. I would like to have your input about Jordan in general.
I mean, for me, after those 2 trips, I have to say that I really can't realize why, when you speak to anyone about Jordan, they will tell you, Petra, and that's it.
Okay.
And that's the biggest error of Jordan, because Jordan has so much to offer, and not just Petra. But still, everyone is just in Petra and maybe they see one or two more places. Maybe they go to the Dead Sea for a day, but still it's just like, yeah, we're going to Petra. Okay, what else? Well, that's it. And that will be actually for me the biggest issue of next 1 or 2 years, because like it will be different, because like the people won't concentrate like anymore, just it used to be. You got 1 million people in Petra, right?
Yes.
That won't be the same now.
Yeah, this is one of the yes, I totally agree, because this is one of the trends that are coming up, which is social distancing and trying to avoid crowded cities. And this is one of the things that Prague precisely has been complaining about, which is over tourism. And I think that this pandemic, if it brought anything good, although it didn't bring anything good, maybe it made us think about to organize a little bit the flow of tourists to certain areas. And I totally agree that I think that not only in Jordan, but other places worldwide, the Taj Mahal, the Louvre, and France, etc., they have to look into how they can let people enter safely to those sites to enjoy it properly. But it's interesting what you said, that whoever you ask about Jordan, they say Petra. Although I totally agree that Jordan has a lot to offer. Where did you go in Jordan? Which places did you visit?
Well, I actually went for sure, like for the major things, which I like, the major sightseeings. But what I liked were the desert castles.
Desert castles.
Yeah, from all my friends who've been to Jordan, no one of them had seen that. And for me, like for the photos, it was like from the different universe. Like in the middle of the desert, you got a beautiful house, beautiful one.
Yeah.
And then you start like to find out about the history of the house. Like one of them was like the hunting castle for some nobleman. Another one like worked in a different way. And that was adventure I love. That was the totally different one, like out of the crowds, to be honest. And like if you read like any major article about Jordan, you can find it. You can't. It will be always Petra and that sea. And maybe sometimes, okay, you can go to the desert and some stuff, but that's major, like that's error of us journalists. That's like not putting enough effort into the work. And that's what I'm like trying to do differently.
Excellent. That's really nice. And but I think that you've been to Jerash as well, the Roman city of Jerash. I think this is one of the beautiful cities, one of the most preserved cities of the Decapolis, the 10 cities of the Roman Empire. It's a Greco-Roman city. And have you been to Ajdoun and to the natural reserves over there? And
like I think there was some kind of problems with like high levels of water. So like
that's in Wadi Mujib, most probably in the
that's correct.
Right. Okay. And the baptism site?
Oh yeah, we've been there.
It's really touching, yeah.
It is, yeah. It's something different. The view was incredible that day. It was like great weather to see.
Oh yes. And I'm sure that you have visited Wadi Rum as well.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
How did you see Wadi Rum?
Beautiful. I was expecting it a little bit more remote, to be honest.
Okay.
Because like it was like too close to the road. So you could like hear actually the cars, but like when the sunset fell down, that was something.
I mean,
that's the time to be there.
Yeah, the changing colors of the mountains while the sunset goes down. It's really magical. It's really magical. Yeah. What's your future plans, Jakub? What are you looking for now in the near future?
That's a tough question. I mean, I had a flight to Chile last Friday. But obviously I'm still sitting in Czech Republic, so the flight was postponed because Chile is now like closed and under the quarantine. So I had no chance to stay for 10 days in quarantine. So as for now, I'm waiting for which countries will reopen. And what I actually done was there was ITB, the biggest tourism fair in Europe, which was only online this year. So I try to connect to the different tourism boards, ask about the current situation, and I'm trying to stay in contact with them and to be ready when they reopen, to help them like with getting some people over there, and like to help them saying out loud, hey, we're open, you can come here safely, if that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sounds interesting. And concerning your personal travel experience in the airports, for instance, were they challenging for you? I know that you have to do some PCR tests. And did you feel safe, or did you feel a little bit under stress or
And
anxiety?
you can feel a bit of stress when you do it for the first time.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Like, I mean, people are magical in the way that they can use to almost everything.
Yeah.
And this will be quite necessary for some time. Let's see what the vaccination will do. And yeah, I would expect this won't change in next 12 or 24 months. This
Yeah.
will be the new reality. It's not too bad. It's just different. I mean,
Yeah. I
you have
totally
to do
agree.
it
Yeah.
for the safety of you, your family, but also of the other ones.
It's true. It's true. I think it will take time. I think that hopefully in 22, mid 22, we'll start to see the change, and hopefully getting back to normal when the vaccine takes its role, and let's see what will happen. Um, is there anything else you would like to share with us about whether it's the Czech Republic, or you know that the Czech Republic is one of my favorite destinations, and whenever I have the chance to go there, it would always be my pleasure. I have to add to that, by the way, for a recent visit to Armenia. It's
Uh,
one of the beautiful countries. I don't know if you have been there. It's one of the beautiful countries that I have ever seen. So if you haven't been there, put it on the list, because I think that there's lots of areas that you can do some beautiful photo shooting in.
Actually, it's on the travel list, and I'm already in contact with the tourism board over there. So
Excellent.
hopefully, it will happen soon. But if you just ask about one more thing, I
Yeah.
have to say what surprised me during ITB. I was trying to watch as many like conferences, as many like having as much talks as I could, and what surprised me that some of the countries seem to be perfectly ready for the different tourism now.
Hmm.
Let's say that Germany and some other countries do know that there will be a new group of tourists who will
Yeah.
prefer safety.
Yeah.
It will be those who are prepared to pay a little bit extra for that. They won't be staying in a top-notch large hotels. They will be looking for small boutique hotels, or even like staying like outside in some apartments and stuff like that. And these countries are trying to get ready for them. But other countries, like 6 of them from South America, Central America, Caribbean, they are just expecting that when the vaccination will pass, everything will be just the same as it was like before COVID. So
Mm.
when I asked, okay, so what are your like plans for that? Yeah, we just wait and we will reopen, and then it will be like before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually, they are pretty sure that like nothing will change. And I think
Mm.
that these are the countries which will have big issues to get tourists back.
I believe so, because even if the vaccinations are effective, and hopefully they are, still people will be a little bit suspicious.
Oh
Still
yeah.
people will be careful. Still people will. I think that we will still see a lot of people in masks. A lot of people will still remain quite conscious when it comes to hygiene and disinfecting hotel rooms and vehicles for not a short time to come, because I mean. Yeah, I mean, if I want to go for a vacation or to travel somewhere, I would like to go in a relaxed mindset, not to be anxious or to be under stress. And I tell you from my personal experience, during my last trip, and I have an upcoming trip as well now within the coming 10 days. Um, At first, I was really concerned, but when I did this travel, I was not as much as concerned as I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to be a little bit careful. You have to make sure that you're taking the necessary procedures in terms of safety, but it is challenging. But again, I think that going back to the topic, that destinations should make sure that protocols are in place and the safety of the traveler is a priority, so that to bring back the confidence in the traveler that it's quite safe to travel and to enjoy their time as much as possible. So I totally agree with you.
I mean, if I was working in the tour agency, I would expect a major switch from the organized tours, the group tours, to the private ones.
Yes.
And that would be like the thing I would expect. And what still, when I check like the offer on now, it's still the same. Like when you travel to countries which are open right now and you want to go on some tour there, like still our travel agencies, from what I've seen, they still offer the group ones, not the
No,
private.
this should change. This should
Yeah.
change because people, I don't think that they will feel relaxed traveling in a group, especially with people they don't know. Maybe a small group of friends that would be acceptable. Maybe with family, yes, that would be okay. But to go in a bus, a full bus, for instance, with the strangers, I don't think that I would be comfortable at all.
I can't imagine that now.
No, no, and even when I flew the airplane, um, it had few passengers, so I felt relaxed to sit wherever I want. So I tried to sit the at the last seat possible. I felt more comfortable, but imagine in the near future now when the airlines start to fill up, it will be a little bit of a concern if they don't take the necessary procedures in place. And this applies to destinations, hotels, restaurants, buses.
I mean, middle seat on the plane will be even worse than before.
Yes, yes. But let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen.
Let's hope for the best.
I hope that, as we've mentioned offline, that we will see a light in the tunnel. I'm quite optimistic. It will take us time, but still, we do call for everybody to take the necessary procedures and precautions for their own safety and for the safety for others.
That's the most important thing right now. We need to reflect, and I mean, the reactions from all the like groups participating in the tourism will be necessary right now for like comfortable experience for all the people.
I totally agree, and I think that your role as a journalist should highlight maybe this as a new topic, the new normal, and what to expect in destinations, and what is better for the travelers, so that to educate them more about their own good and their own safety, and maybe as well to communicate this with destination, that this is the needs of the travelers in order to attract them to your destination. Jakub Kynčl, thank you very much for being with me today. It was a great pleasure talking to you, my friend. And I hope that soon we can bump into each other either in Prague, Amman, or elsewhere, maybe Armenia. We can go together. So let's see what will happen. Thank you very much once again, sir.
Thank you very much, Adel. It was nice talking to you. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Regards to your family.
Same to yours.